big breath in. You can stay on the floor. We're gonna come down to the floor. I just needed a nice big stretch. And now let's come down on the floor. Thursday morning, warm up is all on the floor. Let's find a nice comfy position. We're gonna take that top knee up so that your hip is about 90 degrees, knee is about 90 degrees. Think about rotating down, getting that knee and toe down to the floor, and then stretching back through the leg, not moving your pelvis to reach back. Let's go for 9 more. 2, 3, hopefully these are getting a little bit easier for you. You don't have to touch the floor. What we're working on is increasing that mobility in the hip joint. So don't get frustrated if your body just wants to do this and this. Try to hold it still and see how much movement you can get out of this. And I've lost count. Haha. Is that great? Okay, to start. Thursday morning, we're in week 4. Let's come on to our back. Let's keep working that hip mobility, internal, external rotation. If you're on a mat, you want your feet about as wide as the mat. If you're not on a mat, it's a little bit wider than where your hip bones are. Let's take your knees down to one side and to the other. Easy peasy windshield wipers, waking up the movement in your body. And let's add a bridge. Let's go one way, the other way, center, and lift. Right, left, right, doesn't matter. There's no dogma. It's just moving your body. And okay, let's come over onto side 2. You can roll over. So I'm going to pivot so I can see your rooms that you're in because everybody's on the floor. Okay, let's take that knee up. Stack your hips, reaching down. First ones, I often don't make it all the way down. Don't force it and don't rotate. Don't cheat. Good. So it's not only good for waking up everything in your hip socket, but it's also good for stretching those muscles that are important for controlling the pelvic floor. 6, one side probably moves a little bit easier than the other. That's pretty normal. 3, I think. 2, I think. Let's make this the last one. Okay, let's come onto our backs again. One more round. Side, side, center, and lift. Let's do that 4 more times. Center and lift. Lift, side, side, center, lift. Last one. Side, center, and lift. Let's add on to this, add the challenge, and start waking up the upper body. We're going to bring our knees up into tabletop. I want you to keep your shoulders and your shoulder blades pressed down into the floor. Knees pressed forward just a little bit so you can feel your abdominal muscles kicking in. When your knees are tucked in, they don't have to work. When you push them forward, you make them work harder to stabilize around your spine. So let's do our windshield wipers from here, trying to keep your shoulders pressed into the floor. If your shoulder wants to pop up, don't go take your knees all the way down. The goal is not to roll over. The goal is to have the mobility in that lower part of your body. The upper part of your body is holding you stable. Let's go one more time each way. I'm not even getting all the way down to the floor this morning. So there you have it. And then come in, bring your knees into your chest, make little circles. And let's roll up to sitting. And we're going to get our loop bands. We're going to need a lighter band for working our upper body, waking up everything there. And then we'll need a heavier band for lower body. So take a minute, don't get dizzy standing up, take your time. Find your bands. We're gonna put it around our forearms. Let's roll our shoulders. Just checking out how everything is feeling. And then pull your shoulders down and back. Pull your shoulder blades down towards your hips. As we pull apart, think about leading with your back. You're trying to pull your shoulder blades in towards your spine. The arms are along for the ride. So if we all have the same set of bands, the yellow bands are easier than the green bands. If you're using a green band, you may not get as much movement. Don't force the movement through your arms. Make sure you're feeling your back. And then we're going to hold it out wherever you can feel some tension that, the band wants your hands to come in. We're going to pulse. And we're going to pulse and bring our arms up overhead. Oh, snap, crackle, pop in the shoulders and bring it down. This time I want you to check in with what your ribs are doing and keep your ribs pulled back and stacked over your hips. We don't want to arch when we get our arms up. We want to increase the mobility of our shoulders without having to work through our back. Let's do that one more time. Nice. Okay, holding it here with tension on the band, bicep curls. And holding your thumbs at your shoulders, we're going to reach up and pull back in. So think about reaching, protracting your shoulder blades as you come up, and then pulling everything back in as you row. There you go. Beautiful. My shoulders are getting tired. They should be, they're waking up. Let's do one more for good measure. Good. Let's rest here for a moment. We're going to do lat pulls 2 different ways, and you're going to kill me, but we'll mix it up and we'll do triceps in between. So pulling the band apart, shoulder height. We're going to reach up, pull down behind your neck as best you can. Good. Reach up and pull down. 2. We're going to do 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's, if your hands are like this, turn one hand forward and grab onto the band here. So you want the band around your hand. It's gonna be feel a little bit better. And we're gonna pull. 2, 3, 4. Can your back muscles ever be too strong? I don't think so. And let's switch sides. Doesn't matter if your band twists, it actually adds a little bit more resistance. 2, 3. Nice. 7, 8. So you're pulling towards your shoulder, not your head. One more. Roll your shoulders, shake it out. We have one more thing to do. Just one. We're going to take an overhand grip on the band and pull it apart at your shoulders. We're going to pretend we're doing lat pull downs. We're not at a gym. We don't have a bar, but we can play around with the band. So we're going to reach up, pull down, squeeze your elbows in, reach up, let your elbows come out, and then pull in. 3, 4, 7, 8, and last one. Good job. Let's switch bands and put them around, get a heavier band to put around your ankles. So it doesn't have to be right on your ankle, it can be above your ankle. You're moving through your legs using your hips to stabilize. Hold on for balance if you need it. We're going to stand on one leg and tap forward, keeping tension on the band 10 times. This hip's working. This leg is challenging this hip. So don't focus on what this leg is doing as much as this leg doing all the work. Okay, out to the side for 10. And then back, maybe on a little bit of an angle, so you're not going straight back for 10. 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Switching sides, finding stability in your balance on side 2. We're going to do 10 taps forward. 3, 4. Notice I'm not bringing my foot all the way back because then I lose the tension on the band. And then we're going to go out to the side for 10. 8, 2, and 1. And this leg is pretty tired, the moving one, because you were just stabilizing with it the whole time. And now let's go back on an angle. 6, staying nice and tall, beautiful. Good. Let's take a minute. Shift your weight side to side. Let your legs relax. And we are going to put the band around your feet. And this time I am going to hold on. I am. Just so I have good form, right? You want to stay tall. You want to keep your weight over one foot. You don't want to be leaning. And you don't want to be pulling up in a weird way. So let's not fight balance. Let's just work on strength. 6, nice. 8, 2 more. And then we're going to point our toes, put our toe down. And this is where it's important to stay upright. We're going to push back. So standing up tall, pushing back is isolating your hamstrings. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1 more. Okay, moving on to side 2. Not sinking into your body. It's tempting. Who else wants to go back to bed? Here we go, staying up nice and tall for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pointing your toes and kicking back. 2, 3. If your hand is on the other leg, you can feel your quad working to stabilize. 7, 8, 9, 10. Last 2. Good work. Okay, let's loosen everything up before we do anything else. Let's maybe do some standing hip circles. And some butt kicks. Nice and loose, not forcing anything. Arms or no arms, your choice. And then let's just do some grapevines. Do 1 more back and forth. Take your legs nice and wide. Let's go side to side. Ooh-wee. Just moving, trying to loosen everything. Everything we just worked. And then sink it down. And let's hang out here for just a little bit. You can shift side to side if it feels good. We're going to hang out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands down, bottoms up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands on your knees and roll it up. My yoga mat is migrating. There we go. So let's come to the top of your mat if you're using one, or the back of your mat. I never know what the terminology is. You want to be at one end of your mat facing the other. Okay, we'll reach up. A little stretch side to side. And then we're going to swan dive down. So exhale down. Walk your hands up to a plank, and we're going to stay here for a little bit. So from here, we're going to come up to down dog. Add that knee tuck like we've been doing the last few weeks. Foot comes up, step to the side, and rotate. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You always want to be turning towards the leg that's in front. Step it back. We're going to pike it up. Enjoy that down dog. Pedal your feet out. When we come back to a plank, we're going to take the other knee in towards the same side elbow. Come back up to down dog, kicking that leg up. And then bringing that leg to the side. And rotating up. We're going to do that one more time on each side. So up into your down dog, let everything release, let your heels drop to the floor. Bring side one, knee to elbow. Kick that leg up to the ceiling. Step to the side. There you go, nice. And then we're going to turn up towards that leg that's in front. And then bring your arm down. Step it back. Pike it up. Should be getting a little looser. Bring your knee forward. Kick that leg up. Bring your foot to the side. And rotate. Bring your hand down, and let's come down on the floor. So we're on hands and knees now. Let's find our balance beam, and we'll do 8 bird dogs on our balance beam. So I want you to do, a balance beam is anything that challenges you that's narrower than shoulder width and hip width apart. If you can touch your hands and your knees and your toes together, more power to you. But if you're not quite there yet, I want you to get closer. Keep working on it. So we're going to extend, crunch, extend, and switch. Extend, crunch, extend, and switch. And we'll keep alternating sides. Extend, crunch, extend, and switch. And crunch, and crunch, and switch. And while we're here, make sure you're kicking your leg and extending it straight, not leaving it bent, hanging in midair. Last one. Extend and switch. Let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders, feet a little bit wider, our knees a little bit wider underneath our hips. Tuck the tailbone and the chin and release it. Just a quick cat-cow. And last one. Good. Just come on to our sides. And we'll keep working the pattern that we worked on Tuesday with single leg and double leg. So if you're on a mat, you're in a straight line, angle your feet forward just a little bit. It's okay to have a tiny little bend in your hips here. You don't need to be stick straight. And let's do top leg lift. Okay. We're pulling from the hip. 8, 9. Notice how high you can lift your leg this way using just this muscle. So I'm going to add 2 legs and keeping them together. You can't quite lift as high, but it's a nice big challenge getting both legs to work at the same time. 6. Then we're going to hold our legs up, take our legs apart, and snap them together. 2, It's like doing sideways jumping jacks or laying down jumping jacks. Same movement of your legs, we're just not used to doing it this way. Okay, let's take the top leg back. And you've got your bottom leg right here, straight out. I want you to rotate from the hip like you're turning your toes down to the floor and lift. Very nice. Come onto our back. We have some bridge marching to do. Okay, so let's do some pelvic tilts. Flatten your back into the floor, let your pelvis roll. So like you're bringing it towards your chest, and then arch. So you're tipping your pelvis away from you, tipping your pelvis towards you. Away and towards. Settle your back into a posterior tilt where your back is flat into the floor. Press your toes into the floor. You're going to press through your whole foot. We're going to lift up into a bridge, and from here we're going to count to 20. 1, 2. You don't need to lift up very high. I want you to focus on those hips staying nice and stable. (17, 18, 19, and 20. Lower your hips, hug your knees in, let your back go flat and rest. Go side to side. And then we'll roll over and do side 2 of our leg lifts. Angling forward and lifting. So notice where you're feeling it. Are you initiating from the hip? Are you feeling it on the quads? Is your whole leg working as you're doing this? And then you can use your hands to brace yourself and hold yourself steady. We're going to take both legs up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, give yourself a hand if you need to. Get the burn out of your hip. Take our legs up. 8 snaps. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the top leg rest. Bring it down behind the bottom leg. Bottom leg is straight, rotating from the hip, pointing your toes down towards the floor as best you can. And we'll go for 12 lifts. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nice work. We're going to come onto our bellies and pop up into a plank. We're going to go for 45 seconds. Do we do 45 or 50? Let's do 45 today. Okie dokie. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 45 seconds here. You're feeling it in your back. It might mean you're sagging a little bit through your low back, through your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Pull your ribs up. Don't think about piking. Think about tightening and pulling everything back into alignment. We're getting there. You have 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down. Okay, obliques, because obliques are so important. When else during your week are you doing obliques? You're doing it with me, so give me everything you got. Lift up out of your shoulder. Angle your feet forward. If you've been doing one elbow to one knee, do your best. I don't care if you don't make it to 10. Do your best to bring both knees up and see what that feels like. Or try doing it with a straight leg. If you've been doing it with a straight leg, try bringing up both legs. Give yourself a challenge. Okay, so let's hit it for 10, 9, beautiful, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's all you have to do on that side. Just lie down, stretch your arms long, wiggle if you need to. We're going to go for W push-ups. So your feet anchor you in the floor, arms lift up. We're going to reach, pull, reach, and press. We're going for 6 of these. Reach, pull, reach, press. See if you can make a big exhale and push yourself up off the floor. Reach, pull, reach, and press. 4. 2 more. Reach. Press. Reach. Good. Rock back into child's pose. And then we turn around to do our V-ups on side 2. Whoops, we don't start down here. You could. I like to start up here. So legs angled forward, you rock back on the meat of your butt cheek. And let's hit it for 10. Same thing that we just did on the other side. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good work. What's next? Swimmers. You think I would have this memorized? Oh, you give me too much credit. Let's come down on our bellies and just rest for a second. Shift your hips side to side. Check that you got tension out of your neck. Find a neutral spine in your cervical spine. So you're looking down, you're not all the way down on the floor, and you're not cranked up like this. Find a neutral neck. Arm and leg up and switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And if I talk and try to think about this, I probably get the pattern messed up, but I can still feel my back working, so no need to stop and freak out. Come into child's pose. Let your back rest. And 3 more things, and then we get up off the floor and have fun. Okay. We are going to pop up into a side plank. We're not going to do anything with our arms this time. It's all going to be legs. So if you're on your knee, you're going to come up into your side plank, and we're going to do a leg lift. It'll look like this. You want to make sure you're in that straight line. If you're doing it from your feet, it's going to look like this. And we're going to lift for 8, 7, 6. You're going to feel it down here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down onto your back. Little hip lifts for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Butt pivot around. No rest for the weary. We're here to work out. Come into side plank on side 2. Good job. 10 leg lifts from your knee or from your toes. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Come onto your knees. Stretch it forward into child's pose. Take your arms to one side. And arms to the other side. Stretch out those side muscles. We haven't done surrenders in a really long time. And I think today is the day we're going to bring them back. So from here, I see those smiles. What the hell is a surrender? We're going to keep our hands behind our head. We're going to start on our knees. One leg forward, up to standing. First leg down, second leg down. Okay, if you can with your hands behind your head, awesome. If you need a little push, take a little push. See if you can find that strength. We're going to switch legs. Push through your toes and your feet. Nice. And then down, down, back to side one. Up, up. Step back, come down, down. Side two, up, up. Side two, down, and down. Last set, up, up. Beautiful. I love what I'm seeing. Down, down, up, up, and down, down. These are hard. They're harder with weights. For those of you who used to do this to get up, you're not doing it anymore, I'm so proud of you. For those of you who need to push off your thigh to come up, that's okay, because as you do that, I want you to realize how you're using the core and how you're bracing. And as your core gets stronger, you won't need to create that brace. You'll be able to do it without pressing into your thigh. So, bravo. Let's grab a drink. Coffee, water, tea, whatever you got. We are going to use weights. Weights. We're going to do our side step and circle. Get ready to get your heart rate up. We're going to be going for 45 seconds on, 15 seconds recovery. It moves fast. Hopefully I can remember things fast enough. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, it's the double step and the reach. It doesn't seem like you're doing much with this weight. That's making your abs work super hard. And if your heart rate isn't coming up, either you're not hopping or you're not using a heavy enough weight. If you don't want to use the weight, I'll show you next time through what it looks like. It's a big aerobics move. We're going to go back to the 90s. We have 10 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Put that weight down. 15 seconds. So you don't put that weight down. We have our sumo squat and reach. So you want to wait. You want to have a bit of resistance. Weight's right by the top of your hips. Sink it down. Reach and twist. Down, reach and twist. 3, balance. So you're twisting to the same side you're lifting, good. But you're not turning your knees in. So we're not turning, we're going opposite. So your knees coming up and your hands are going the other way. There you go. 10 more seconds. You got this. Longest 10 seconds in creation. 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Okay, we have our deadlifts. Tricky to find your balance when you're panting. But we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Your pace, perfect form. Find your balance. Harder to hold your balance when you're breathing hard. Good job. Nice. Keep going. 15 more seconds. Then 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Let's put the weight down. We have plank to side plank. The rotation bothers you, hold one or the other, or move with me. Incline or floor, your choice. Up and back, up and back. Your whole body is rotating perpendicular to the floor. If you get tired, your wrists start bothering you, come down, come back into it. 40 seconds feels like forever this morning. Here we go. And up, and down, and up. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it down. We'll take a whole minute here. Whew, let your heart rate come down. Grab a drink, turn your fan on. Have your coffee, have some water. Have both. There are times when coffee is okay, or tea. There are times when it's just not as refreshing. We have about 20 more seconds. Maybe some TikTok, some hula hoops. We've been doing a lot of hip work today. Remember where you put your weight. We start in 15 seconds. Woohoo. Figure eights. They feel so nice. Okay, let's find our weight. And we'll do our circles. If you're not using weight, make your arms really big and get your heart rate up. Even if your legs aren't hopping and you're just stepping together, the bigger the movement with your arms, the more your heart will have to work. Otherwise, let's use our weight. You do you. Leave it to me. I'm showing you this option in week 4. I should have shown it to you in week 1. There we go. 10 more seconds. Three, 2, and 1. Hold on to that weight. Take a big breath in. We have our sumo twist coming up. Don't imagine your feet are glued to the floor and it's hard to pick them up. Let's take it down. Come up. Good. This doesn't have to be a race. This is a good squat and a good lift with a twist. It's a balance challenge. You're nailing it. Keep the weight at your hips. We're not reaching and bending. You're going to end up hurting your back, depending on the size of the weight. So my weight's not really going up and down. Other than I'm standing with it. And rest. I don't know why I put the weight down. We need to pick it up again. Oh my gosh. Single leg deadlifts. Balance challenge when you're out of breath. Let's hit it. You do one on each side in 45 seconds, and that's good for you. I am proud of you. There's no rush. There's no race. It's all about form, finding your stability. Controlling your movement, even when your heart wants to burst out of its chest. 5 more seconds. 1 more in. Whew. Now the weight can come down. And we'll come onto the floor. We have our plank to side plank. You choose the variation that works for you. I'm going to do plank to side plank because that's what's on my list. You do you. If it bothers your wrists, bothers your ankles, come up with something appropriately planky and make it work for you. 45 seconds is a long time. If you can't hold it, come out of it and then come back into it. The more you try, the easier it gets and the better you get at doing it. I like what I'm seeing. Nice. Keep it going. We have time for 1 more and we're done with that set. Let's circle our wrists. Standing, sitting. I'm just down here, so I'm staying here. Make waves. And maybe let's take our hands behind our head and pull your elbows back. Take a big breath in. Open through the chest. Like, doesn't matter if your back arches here. Just take some big deep breaths. Pull the elbows back. Open up across the chest in front of your shoulders. When we plank, we tend to pull in. See if you can pull back to whatever is behind you. Take your hands behind your back and lift them up. I'm going to come up to standing. We're going to take about another 30 seconds. So grab a drink, swing your arms out. Mop your brow. I'm dripping. Learn my lesson not to wash my sweat towels with my outdoor clothing, because now my sweat towel has little seed things caught in it. It's kind of scratchy. Not very fun. I lied. Let's take another 10 seconds. And we're going to start with sledgehammer. So find an appropriate weight. The heavier it is, the more challenge you will have. We go in 3, 2, 1. And we're going to switch at about 20 seconds. There's a few seconds to transition. Use your core. Brace. Stick that landing. Stay on one side. And if you're not alternating, we're switching sides. Get that momentum going and stop it. There you go. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Going for lighter weights. We have a squat with the lateral reach. Looking at what the noise is out there. And hands at your shoulders, squat and reach. Just something, keep you moving. If it bothers you, your heart rate's getting too high, drop the weights and use your hands. or don't use your arms at all. All about building your fitness and your conditioning. 5, 10 seconds. 5 seconds. And rest. Hold on to these weights. Next move is all strength. We go in 5 seconds, chest press to lat pull. Find a nice stable position where your ribs are stacked over your hips. Goalpost arms, squeeze, and pull. I had time to go fast this morning. I'm feeling it in my shoulders. We have 3 seconds left. Squeeze one more in. You got it. Nice. Good work. And then we come down on the floor for our bridge with a big reach. So what we were just working, we're going to get to stretch. Come on down on the floor. Feet hip width apart. Lift. Reach. Press through your whole foot. Try to keep your lower body stable. Let the stretch happen in your upper body. Play through. You can pace yourself. You can hold the stretch and come down and reset. Hold the stretch, come down and reset. Just make sure your arms come all the way out. And we're not doing this like a T-Rex. Reach and stretch. Reach and stretch and hug your knees in. Whew. Whew. Circle your ankles. It is already 5 after 8. I think we can get through this one more time, but we're going to shrink the intervals. So let's go, instead of 45-15, let's do 30-15. And we'll be done a little bit faster. And our work period will be a little bit shorter. So come on up to standing. I'm going to start with sledgehammers. 30 seconds on, 15 off. All we have are 4 exercises to do this way, and then we come down on the floor for a stretch. So stay with me. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay on one side. At 15 seconds, I will switch you. Stay on one side. Get that momentum going, the wind up. And switch sides. Down. Get that wind up in. Slam it down and stop the movement. And rest. 15 seconds off. We go to our squat with our lateral reach. So shift to a lighter weight. We go in 5 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. We're getting our work in today. Here we go. Squat and reach. Beautiful. Five seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Weights come down for 15 seconds. Don't let go of them. May have just enough time to put the weights down and then pick them back up. Okay, we go in 3, 2, 1. Rack those weights into a goalpost arm. Squeeze and pull. Nice. Squeeze Elbows stay 90 degrees. Do the work, try to bring those elbows together. Those pecs are pretty large muscles. They do a lot of work for us. Let's get them nice and strong. We have 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Moving right on, we come back down to the floor and we're going to stay on the floor. In 5 seconds, we do our stretchy reaches. Okay, hips lined up. Reach and stretch. Lift and reach. Pressing through your whole foot. Trying not to let your knees wobble all over the place. Try to keep them as up towards the ceiling as you can. There's a lot of stability here while you're mobilizing. And let's hug your knees into your chest. Hang out here. I'm going to adjust my camera so I get more floor space to work with for stretching. Okay. Move away from my weights. Okay, if you're sitting up, hold on to the backs of your thighs. Sit up tall. Or you can hold on to the front of your shins. That works too. You're gonna sit up tall and then round your back. Stretch it into a C. You can pull against your legs and then sit up nice and tall. And round. This is like a sitting cat-cow, but we're not arching. I want you to think about tucking your tailbone under, tucking your chin, and getting this nice roundedness in your low and middle back. And then bring your feet in and roll all the way down. Onto your back. Let's do a couple of windshield wipers and just check in with how everything is feeling. Should feel a lot looser than it did an hour ago. And then we're going to stretch one leg out, take the other leg up and twist it across. Look in the other direction. And take some deep breaths here. Let your rib cage expand. See if you can settle your shoulders down on the floor. And then come back to center so you're on your back, shift your weight, stretch your other leg out, and let's do the same thing on side 2. Doesn't matter which side you're doing first. Get that stretch across the top of your hip, across the glutes. Breathe into your rib cage, get the stretch in your sides. Maybe 2 more breaths here. See if you can twist a little bit more. And then come back to center. We're going to cross one knee over the other and hug both legs in. If it feels good to tip to one side, go ahead. Otherwise, just hang out here. Hug your knees in. Let your back flatten onto the floor. Let your hips stretch and open up. And then we're going to take the leg that's on top and slide it. So we're in a number 4 stretch or a piriformis stretch. So your knee is out to the side now, still supported by the other leg you're holding up. Bring our legs down, switch them. Other knee comes on top, hug them both in. And then let's slide the ankle over the knee. Here for a stretch, number 4 stretch, whatever you want to call it. To open up that right hip or the left hip, whichever knee is out to the side, that's the hip you're stretching. Good. And let's reach behind both knees and roll yourself up to sitting. And we'll come cross-legged. Whatever comfortable cross-legged position means to you, holding onto your knees. Let's just roll around so we can stretch through our back, over our glutes and those deeper muscles. Inhale back. Exhale forward. And reverse. Comfortable for you to be in a straddle or reach forward, go ahead and do it. This is as far as I get. I prefer doing my forward reaches with my hips, with my legs crossed. But if this is you, you do you. The alternative is to sit cross-legged, let your knees drop, and fold forward. Let your back stretch. Think about lengthening. Doesn't really lengthen. I wish we could all get taller doing this, but we can't. Let those muscles stretch. Breathe into the bottom of the back of your rib cage. Now a long, slow exhale. And let's go for one more big inhale. And an exhale. And we are done with our workout. You did great. Have a wonderful weekend.